Previously on the Midnight Channel. Dude, you can't do that much damage with Rampage?
I can't, cause I'm the king.
And now... welcome back to not getting killed by Rampage. So last time we defeated the Contrarian King, and this time, I think I have all of the Arcanas I need. And so that means we should be ready to go and rescue Kanji. I need to double check a few things. I can actually get King Frost, and I will need an Emperor persona later, and making you with resist fire from Jack Frost will be pretty good because you are also weak to fire. And I also need Priestess. I think I'd rather buy back Sarasvati than try and fuse something new. Yeah, King Frost is much higher level in P5. As is Oberon. And they're both Emperor personas, actually. Oh look, the persona that you uses against Shadow Chi in the anime, despite the fact that in the game you can't get it until way later. I don't need Sandman or Senri, so I may as well get this in the compendium. I guess I should point out Ares. So Ares doesn't resist or null electricity, but he does innately resist physical, and there's a fusion forecast for him a bit later in the month that gives him null poison. So that is a semi-decent option for the Shadow Kanji fights, but I prefer personas that null or resist electricity, like Shisa. And just for later, I'm going to grab Angel. It never hurts to carry a Justice persona at all times. And with that, now we should be ready to rescue Kanji. We're not quite at full SP, but I think our SP levels are alright. I do want to make sure that Yosuke, yes, he has the Volt Suppressor, that's good. And equipping other people with Volt Suppressors might not be a terrible idea. Why do you still have the headband? You need, I guess, the Crow Charm. And Chie, well, crits are going to be kind of useless in this fight anyway, so, I'm pretty sure everyone in this fight is immune to crits, so yeah, I'm just going to go for straight-up Volt Suppressors. Do I have anything that reduces the chance of poison? I highly doubt it. I do have enough Volt Suppressors to cover the whole party, though, and I think I'm just going to go for that. Even though Yosuke is really the only one who actually needs it, and I'm going to give you the Crow Charm. And as for personas, I will lead with Gur for the Oro Tarukasha, but basically you want something that resists physical and is immune or at the very least resistant to electricity. So for me, that is Andra, and Andra also has Medea. So I'll be switching to you later, but I also have you for potential high agility shenanigans. Yeah, you have no choice but to have Yosuke's weakness exposed, so Volt Suppressor is kind of okay in mitigating that. And if you have anything that cures Rage and Poison, you want to make sure you bring those items. We're going in.
There they are!
Kanji!
Oh, come now! Enough with the charade. Isn't it awful to deceive people? To deceive yourself? What's so bad about doing what I want to do? And that has nothing to do with it. I'm what you really want, aren't I? Hell no! Oh, how I hate girls. So arrogant and self-centered. They cry if you get angry, they gossip behind your back, they spread nasty lies. They look at me like some disgusting thing and say that I'm a weirdo. Laughing at me all the while. You like to sew? What a queer. Painting is so not you. But you're a guy. You don't act like a guy. Why aren't you manly? What does it mean to be a guy? What does it mean to be manly? Girls are so scary. I ain't scared of them. Men are much better. never say those awful, degrading things. Yes, I vastly prefer men. Hell with that! What makes you think you can say that shit with my face? Why, you're me. And I'm you. You do know that, don't you? No. Nuh-uh. No way! There's no way in hell that you're me! You're me, and there's no denying it!
Kanji-kun!
Everyone, on guard!
It's aggressive therapy time, and he's not alone.
I am a shadow, the true self. I'm just being true to myself, and that's why I'll get rid of anything in my way!
Are these Kanji-kun's true feelings?
This isn't really him. It's just his emotions going haywire.
This has nothing to do with you guys anymore. Didn't I just say I'm gonna get rid of you?
This has everything to do with us now. Let's go! We not only have to deal with Shadow Kanji himself, but also Nice Guy and Tough Guy. So,
This one's tough. Hang in there.
no, actually this one's nice. Nice Guy is the priority target. He has less HP, and he likes to use buffs, including Heat Riser, which buffs all stats. Yep, only the second major boss, and they're already using this. This is why I said Yosuke's Dakaja Social Link skill is really important. Because that's a way to get rid of this, but of course Yosuke can quite easily get knocked down in this fight, so he might not get a chance to do it. Nice Guy is immune to fire and weak to ice.
This one's tough. Hang in there.
Well, you're right about that one. So Tough Guy has way more HP, but he's weak to fire, and he's mostly a physical attacker. I like to keep him down with Maragi on Yukiko, which also gets a little bit of damage in on Shadow Kanji at the same time.
Yikes! This is one tough enemy.
Shadow Kanji himself is actually weaker in terms of HP than Shadow Yukiko is, but, at least in Golden, but don't let that fool you, he's still a brutal boss. So yeah, he has a lot of physical attacks, and that's why you want to resist Physical Persona, and also some electrical skills, including his signature move, Fanatical Spark. One of his signature moves. We'll get to the others a bit later. He also can increase crit rate with Revolution, and also power charge himself. Now, in the original game, he could also use Tetrakarn to bounce your physical attacks back in your face, and that got very annoying when he combined it with another ability that he has, which again I'll talk about later. It should also be noted that this fight got nerfed pretty heavily in Golden. Back there, not only did Nice Guy and Tough Guy drain the elements they're now weak to, but Tough Guy drained Physical. Yeah. Shadow Kanji did get a pretty big agility buff in this version though, and speaking of agility, I'm actually going to start by debuffing his agility because it's a bit harder for Nice Guy to raise that. And I'd like his agility to be down and Yosuke's to be up, so I get the most use out of, my Volt Suppressors. Because what those do is they double evasion against electric attacks, so I think, like, the higher your actual evasion stat is, the better. You also need to think very strategically in this fight about who hits the weaknesses of Nice Guy and Tough Guy. Basically, who do you want to get the one mores? I think at this point, okay, I either Assault Dive you or I Tarukaja Yukiko to increase the damage Yukiko does to Tough Guy. I'm not sure about that at this point though. Basically, Nice Guy needs to die immediately. That's pretty much the priority early on in this fight. And while Nice Guy seems to be immune to Dizzy, Tough Guy isn't. I like to knock Tough Guy down and then make him dizzy with Yukiko, because that also, with Maragi, because that gets a little bit more damage on Shadow Kanji at the same time. Okay, there's Forbidden Murmur, the first of his signature moves. This inflicts poison on male characters. And yeah, Nice Guy loves to get rid of Tough Guy's weakness.
Sensei, hurry and get rid of that poison!
Poison can't kill you, but what it can do is more easily put you in kill range for Shadow Kanji's attacks. Okay, I have a slight idea here. I might actually debuff Nice Guy's defense, just to make sure that he goes down faster. So yeah, think of Poison like a passive damage buff to Shadow Kanji's attacks, and Shadow Kanji's attacks do hit pretty hard. Do I cure that Poison, or do I... Yeah, because Yukiko can't cure Poison, which is kind of a problem. Sometimes Yosuke's a little strapped for things to do in this fight. I think for now I might have you use the Dokudami Tea, and maybe use that on you, because obviously you needs to survive.
Yosuke's all poisoned!
I will talk about symbolism later on, but early on I want to make sure that I'm concentrating, because this fight can very easily go off the rails if you're not careful. Despite the nerf in Golden, I still consider this one of the hardest bosses in the game. You wouldn't think that, considering how comedically Shadow Kanji acts, but yeah, I do think he's legitimately one of the hardest fights in the game. I think, should I Medea, or should I just go for a little bit more damage? The problem is, Tough Guy has a ton of health, and Yukiko is not really that big of a threat against Nice Guy. I think I'll actually just heal, just to be safe. Forbidden Murmur is probably the less dangerous of Shadow Kanji's moves. Okay, there we go, nice. That's why I put your agility down. Now, I don't know why he did that, because Tough Guy was gonna get up this turn anyway, but yeah, it's kind of weird. Okay, so, Nice Guy's defense is down. Shadow Kanji is still speed debuffed. If I do this, the problem is he might, Nice Guy might buff his defense. Nice Guy likes doing that. I'd rather leave damaging Nice Guy to Chie right now, so I think I'm going to, I think I'll Rakunda Shadow Kanji. At the very least, it'll mean that your defense will go back up to average if you, get, buffed by Nice Guy. The problem with this is it could crit, and I actually don't want to crit because then Chie won't get a one more. So I guess I'll hit you a little bit. You do have to be careful how much you damage Shadow Kanji himself, because when he goes to lower HP thresholds, he'll start using his more dangerous attacks more often and get access to more of his moveset, so it's often best to hold off on damaging him a little bit until... I guess I'll do that. The guys seem to be immune to crits, and that being on Shadow Kanji himself is probably a bad thing. But yeah, as I was saying, probably best to actually focus on Nice Guy at least first before you fight Shadow Kanji himself. Even though that does make the fight take quite a bit longer. Doesn't really matter which I use. These guys resist wind, but it doesn't really matter about the resistance. They still take a flat 50 damage. Okay, him going for a basic attack is probably what I want to see right now, especially if it's on you, and I thought you'd do that. Like I said, at least you're back up to average. Tough Guy mostly focuses on physical attacks, as you can see. Okay, Nice Guy is getting kind of low. I get the feeling that Shadow Kanji's agility debuff is going to wear off soon, so I'm actually going to put that back on him. I'm playing very defensively with you at the moment, and that's because I had an earlier take of this where I got aggressive, accidentally equipped Amino Uzume, who's weak to electricity, and you can probably tell how that went. I think this time I actually will Sonic Punch you. No, actually I don't even think they crits even work on them, because obviously Yosuke Strike usually is a guaranteed critical, but I've never seen it crit these guys. Okay, Nice Guy is almost done. I think one item will do it. So, let's see if I can finish you. But I'm such a nice guy! Forbidden Murmur again. Better than the other thing he can do, at least. Now it's just down to Tough Guy. Oh, okay.
Yosuke's all poisoned.
That's kind of bad, because it means Yukiko can't get one more off of him, but at least it's, something. Okay, so now that Nice Guy is down, I don't need to worry about this wearing off. And I think Yosuke will actually, at this point, use Dia on you. Sorry if I'm kind of narrating my actions here, but I kind of have to, because this fight can easily get very bad if you're not careful. So, now that Nice Guy is down, Chie has a little bit less to do with her turns, especially in the original, where Tough Guy drained physical, but I can Tarukaja, I guess I can Tarukaja Yukiko to make sure that Tough Guy goes down quicker. He's not that high of a priority, since all he really does is just use physical attacks with bad accuracy. And you can keep him dizzy quite easily. Like this. Yeah, his gimmick is that he has a lot of health, but his defense is really terrible.
Sensei, hurry and get rid of that poison!
I think I'm going to go for a Medea here. I think poison's going to wear off pretty soon. So I guess I can start talking about symbolism now, since things are starting to get a little bit, not quite as dangerous. So, the Emperor Arcana reversed can mean blind submission to authority, the misuse of authority to oppress people with power, or in some cases cowardice, and I think all of these fit Shadow Kanji. Firstly, Kanji is a coward in the fact that he is afraid to accept himself, and he's blindly submitting to society's expectations of what men should be like. And the misuse of power or authority could tie into how Kanji's become a violent delinquent and is using physical violence to try and prove his manliness. Speaking of manliness, here's Roar of Wrath. This inflicts rage on female characters, and that came at exactly the wrong time. Don't use Rampage. Okay, good, you hit you. That's great. So, Cheer doesn't mind being enraged that much, unless it's the original game, where, Tough Guy drains physical. I think I'll debuff Tough Guy, yeah. But Yukiko being enraged is really bad, because obviously she can't heal in this state, and she also has a move that cures rage. Now, I do have one Amrita Soda, and I want to save that for later in the fight, where I might really need it, because if he uses Roar of Wrath later on, things can very, very quickly go into a downward spiral. So, I'm gonna go ahead and use one of my sedatives to cure, I think I'll actually cure Yukiko first, because I don't really mind that much about Chie being enraged right now. Because rage does increase your damage output. Now, I've got to be careful because Shadow Kanji is almost at the point where he'll start doing his other signature move. And, yeah, you obviously want to cure rage before he gets an attack in, because otherwise you have drastically reduced defense. So, Forbidden Murmur and Roar of Wrath.
My decision to go through with this. Get out of my way, or I'll crush you.
Okay, that's already phase 2. And his hit rate's averted. Okay, he's using Assault Dive, and that's probably... Oh, no, it's on Yosuke. Right, I was worried for a second that was the other thing he can do. Which I think he's starting to do right now. But, yeah, those two moves, they have a lot of interesting implications, I find. Forbidden Murmur could represent, how Kanji might feel that his interactions with men are quote-unquote poisoning him by making him question his sexuality. Or it could represent how blind submission to stereotypes of what men should be is kind of poisoning Kanji. Roar of Wrath could represent the kind of hidden anger Kanji feels towards girls for always mocking him and bullying him for his appearance and hobbies, and also just that overall feeling that he is feeling a bit insecure about right now, that he might be actually slipping into misogyny a little bit. But while Shadow Yukiko's main, oh, great, there's that again. While Shadow Yukiko's main status ailments were silence and fear, which I felt was very accurate to the kind of issue she was dealing with, for Shadow Kanji, they're poison and rage, which both, I feel, tie into negative stereotypes associated with masculinity.
Yuki-chan's mad as heck!
And, okay, once again, I think I'm gonna have to sedative, Yukiko.
Thanks!
One other thing that I find with this fight, though, is that there's a very big theme of duality here. Not only do we have the two male symbols Shadow Kanji is holding, as well as the, two minions, Nice Guy and Tough Guy, but you also have the fact that both him and the minions are half black, half white. And I feel like this could represent society's black and white views of both, masculinity and femininity, as well as sexuality. And that whole idea that often people feel that, like, someone's hobbies must define everything else about them, or even that someone's, like, sexuality magically defines everything else about their personality, which obviously is complete crap. Like, that's just only one aspect of someone, and everyone is just a whole combination of different things. If there's anything to take away from this dungeon, that's what I feel it is.
Let's do this!
Because, like, as an example, there are plenty of gay footballers, and there are a lot of straight male ballet dancers, just to name a few stereotypical examples. So really, I just find you just have to be yourself and not really worry about the way that other people will treat you. But one other thing that I find kind of interesting about this fight is the way that Nice Guy and Tough Guy are compared to the charming prince who abandoned Shadow Yukiko when things got dangerous. Nice Guy and Tough Guy stay with Shadow Kanji until the end. And I feel like that could also represent Shadow Kanji's hidden desire for friends who truly accept him for who he is. In fact, Shadow Kanji even has an unused voice clip where he reacts with extreme distress if one of them goes down. So that's also something very interesting that I find about them. The other thing is their names, Nice Guy and Tough Guy. So from a more obvious standpoint, they could represent the stereotypes of gay characters in a lot of Japanese romance fiction, the dominant and submissive stereotypes, or seme and uke to use the Japanese terms. But Nice Guy and Tough Guy, I feel their names also tie into the themes of duality, because I feel like they represent the dual identities that Kanji is stuck between. Kanji the mama's boy who loves knitting and sewing, and Kanji the macho biker-bashing delinquent. Yeah, Swift Strike is quite dangerous, especially if he backs up with Power Charge. I feel like my slower, more defensive playstyle is doing wonders here. First time I tried this fight, like I said, I got way too aggressive with you, and that didn't end well at all. So at this point, it's less likely for Yuko to get one more, so she can focus on healing maybe a little bit more, although Akilao will probably still do quite a bit. I think Chie can Tarukaja herself now. Oh yeah, of course, there's the more obvious elements of Shadow Kanji's symbolism. There's the two male symbols, and there's also the roses, which represent the Bara genre. But also, now, I don't generally like, okay, so what I've tried to do before I analyze any of the symbolism in this game is I deliberately avoided looking at anyone else's interpretations, because I wanted to make sure that my opinions were my own and weren't influenced by anyone else. And I'll put your defense down again. But I did actually see a video comment a while back that said the roses on Shadow Kanji are arranged kind of in the shape of a question mark, which could represent Kanji questioning his identity and also his sexuality.
Chie-chan's really pissed off!
The other interesting thing that I find about Kanji, though, the other thing about Kanji that a lot of people kind of forget as well is, Kanji is only 15.
Stay out of my way! What's wrong with acting however I feel like?
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, but what's wrong is when you try and kill us over it. Yep, there's Fanatical Spark. This is like medium electric damage to everyone, and, yeah, it's a major threat to Yosuke. That's why I like to keep his agility debuffed, and Yosuke's agility buff. That, I feel, is the best way to deal with that attack. I think at this point, you should fall back and be the one to focus on healing while Yukiko gets some damage in with fire skills. Okay, that's reverted. I'm putting that back up right now. At this point, you're almost guaranteed to have access to at least one Volt Suppressor, so evasion buffs and debuffs on him pretty much exponentially increase the effectiveness of the Dodge Elec ability. But yeah, Kanji is still very young, and it's not uncommon for young teenagers to question themselves like this, especially ones, you know, going through puberty and hormones and, you know... something that I didn't talk about back when I was doing the dungeon is that I went to an all-boys high school in the 2000s, so yeah, let's just say I've experienced the immaturity of teenage boys regarding, sexuality firsthand, basically. Yeah, it was pretty sad, but unfortunately, at that time, gay jokes were kind of the height of humor amongst people in my age group, and I do feel like Shadow Kanji himself represents a lot of the stereotypes that teenage boys think that gay men are actually like, which is what I was kind of trying to get into earlier. I kind of feel like he does represent homophobia in a lot of ways, just as he can represent questioning one's sexuality as well. So yeah, we're getting close to being done with this fight, I think. I think I've got most of what I wanted to say out of the way. I guess, as a behind-the-scenes thing, it is actually kind of tough to talk about these fights and go on about the symbolism at the same time. Especially a fight like this, where there's actually a lot to keep track of. Because you've got to keep track of the minions' weaknesses, which ones have walled each other.
You all thought I was weird. Deep down, you don't accept me at all. No matter what, I won't lose. Eyes closed.
Chie-chan's in danger! Heal her!
I would say I'm getting kind of lucky with that, but I am stacking things a little in my favor. Oh, that's actually bad. I'm going to have to go ahead and use an SP healing item, I think, because I really want my,
Heal her!
Okay, so gotta be careful about this. I want to keep Yosuke buffed, but I also don't want Chie to go down. I just realized I've never actually had anyone KO'd in this fight yet, which I probably shouldn't say, but... Okay, let's actually play this a little safe. I don't want to screw this over this late into the fight. And then you're going to go ahead and use just a... I have a lot of Snuff Souls, but that's kind of overkill, but I guess I'll do that. Oh, Spirit Drain, yeah, so, I don't know if he only uses this later in the fight, but this is a move that he can use. I don't actually know if his SP is limited or not, but... like, most bosses tend to have unlimited SP. Except for, you know, the Gigas. Okay, you're buffed. You can probably heal Chie if you wanted, but I would also quite like to get some damage in because he's almost down. Could be buffing attack, but again, he is almost down. Don't want to mess things up this late in. Especially when he's spamming Fanatical Spark.
Yuki-chan's in danger! Help!
Well, there goes my no KOs run of this. I have plenty of revival beads, though. I should be able to finish him this turn. If we focus down.
Yuki-chan's health is too low! No! Fix it!
I'll finish you!
Oh.
There we go. Shadow Kanji is honestly one of the more tragic shadows in this game, I find. It's just...
Damn it.
Kanji-kun.
Wait, Yukiko, something's wrong.
It's still coming at us! Kanji is still rejecting it!
Well, I can't blame him with this many witnesses.
Such a passionate approach.
What?
I think that you three would make wonderful boyfriends.
Stop it! You got it all wrong.
Enough. Stop! What the hell are you blabbering about? I don't care who! Won't someone, anyone please accept me? Stop it! Accept me for who I am!
Whoa, whoa! I really don't swing that way!
You can't prove those unused voice clips exist!
I said stop it! Can't believe something like this is inside me.
Kanji, you're...
Yeah, I know. I've known all this time I had something like you. It ain't a matter of guys or chicks. I'm just scared shitless of being rejected. I'm a total pansy who tries to make everyone hate me.
You just need friends who accept you, and you have some right here.
Come on, get up. Anyone who looks like me, I know they ain't so weak that they can't take a punch. I already know that you're me. You're me, and I'm you, damn it.
I like to think that when Kanji punched his shadow, he actually felt that himself.
Kanji-kun!
Let's get him out of here.
Kanji-kun, are you okay?
It's nothing. Whoa. I feel great. It's like my mind's all cleared up.
Sometimes punching yourself in the face does that to you.
Hey, about what just happened. Bullshit, I ain't that stupid.
We'll explain everything later. You need to take a rest now. We'll be waiting for you at school.
School? Sure, if I ever feel like going.
I'll take this guy home. If anyone asks, I'll just say I found him somewhere like this.
And so, once again, the killer has been thwarted. Another victim has been saved.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Remember that Kanji Tatsumi guy I told you about? You know, the one who went nuts on that news special.
Let me guess, he got kidnapped, but now he's fine. Just a hunch.
His family's shop called in to report him missing, but now he's been found. I thought I'd let you know since you go to the same high school. Yeah. One other thing. Some people have seen you around that textile shop lately, I hear. It's not the kind of shop students normally visit. Just what kind of business did you have there?
We're very interested in traditional textiles and handcrafts and scarves. Yeah, we were shopping for scarves.
A friend? Oh, that Amagi girl. That's right. Her family's inn buys their stuff wholesale.
That's a better cover story than what we had. Let's go with that.
Fine. Just don't get yourself in over your head, okay?
Are you fighting again?
We're given the choice to save, like always. I think these save prompts are actually golden only. The Midnight Fail Channel! Okay, in my practice playthrough, I never ever saw her get this against a boss. This is Galaxy Kick, a variant of Galactic Punch that just does damage and it's only used against bosses. It's pretty rare you see that, because this is actually one of the last bosses we'll be facing to actually have weaknesses. Oh, that's not good. Okay, that's good though. Oh, that's bad. Oh, and I missed everyone. Nice. Okay.
Get out of my way, or I'll crush you.
Okay, I think at this point he's going to start using Fanatical Spark. Swift Strike is almost as bad. Ugh, that's not good. A crit. Power Charge. Okay, that's equally terrible. But... okay, I have an idea. I think I'll actually do this with Yosuke.
I'm pissed now.
Let's use my physical mirror. Because Shadow Kanji himself is not immune, and I may as well use it on Yukiko. Yeah, just to be safe, I'll use it on him. So yeah, reflecting Shadow Kanji's power charge attacks is not a bad strategy either. Oh, he went for Swift Strike, okay. Well, that was some good damage from the reflection. I think Yosuke has the lowest chance of dying, like the highest chance of dying this turn. Especially if Shadow Kanji goes...
Stay out of my way.
Persona 5 Muscle Memory. That's really getting to me now. Yep, there's Fanatical Spark. And I wasn't in the Persona immune to that, was I?
Wow, that was intense. Are you all right?